What? Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is my pleasure to welcome you to Temple Emeth and to our Shabbat Evening Service. It is not the first Friday of the month, but nonetheless, we have invited you here at 7:30 for a family service at which we will use our family Siddur. We will hear Eitz Chaim sing, and we'll get to hear a story. And so I welcome you to all of this that will go on at our family service this evening. If you've joined us on live stream, I'd like to say Shabbat Shalom to you and let you know that the Siddur that we use this evening for our family service is Mishkan Tefillah for Youth. If you have a copy of Mishkan Tefillah for Youth at home, now is the time to bring it to your screen or your device so that you can follow along with each and every song and prayer and page number in our service this evening. Also, if you're joining us on live stream, I hope that you will take a moment to post something in the chat or comment section of the live stream platform. It can be your name or your location or simply Shabbat Shalom, and that way others who are watching will see that you are there. They will feel your presence, and in this way we form bonds of virtual community together. And Shabbat Shalom to everyone who has gathered in the sanctuary this evening. If you don't have your copy of Mishkan Tefillah for Youth yet, you can get a copy right outside the doors to the sanctuary on the small table out there. And now's the perfect time to do that if you still need a prayer book. We begin our Shabbat service with the lighting of Shabbat candles. The candle blessing is found in Mishkan Tefillah for Youth on page 4. And to lead us in the honor of Shabbat candles, we call upon Temple member Paula Dillon.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher k'dishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher k'dishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We turn now in Mishkan Tefillah for Youth to page 12. On page 12, you'll see there are a number of songs, but we're going to join together in the song at the top of the page. Please join as Cantor Tillum leads us in singing Ma Yafeh Hayom.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. 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 Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Well, that song got us in the mood for prayer, I hope, but the next stage of our service is to show that we are ready to pray. And the way that we do that is by joining together in the Baruch Hu. The Baruch Hu is found in Mishkan Tefillah for Youth on page 22, and I ask if you're able to please rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch et Adonai Hamivarach Baruch Adonai Hamivarach Hamivarach Leolam Vaed Hamivarach Hamivarach Leolam Vaed.
We turn to page 29 in the Siddur. Page 29 offers an interpretation of a prayer called Ahavat Olam, which means eternal love, because God showed the Jewish people God's love when God gave us the Torah. We read together about this on page 29 in English. God, you gave us the Torah to show that you love us. May it always be a friend at our side. The Torah is our teacher. It tells us what is right and what is wrong. It shows us how to live good lives. Be with us always when we study Torah. Be with us always as we try to live good lives. We praise you, eternal God, who gave the Jewish people the Torah. It is your special gift to us. It is the gift of your love. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. We turn 3 pages now, where we get to the yellow pages with the large blue letter Shin, and we join together in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We turn to page 38, where we find the song Mi Chamocha. These words were first sung when our ancestors experienced a miracle. That was the miracle of Passover that we observed just last week. And We're getting ready to observe another holiday next week, and that is Yom HaAtzmaut. Many Jews feel that Yom HaAtzmaut is a modern miracle, the ability of the Jewish people to form a state and determine their own destiny. And so whether you think about the ancient miracle or the modern miracle, we join together in singing the Song of Miracles. Please join us in Mi Chamocha.
Ya bye 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 ya bye 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 bim bum ya bye 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 ya bye 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 bim bum ya bye 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 ya bye 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 bim bum ya bye 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 ya bye 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 bim bum mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh norati lo dosei bele norati lo dosei bele ya bye 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 ya bye bye bim bum a bye 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 ya bye bye bim bum ya bye 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 ya bye bye bim bum ya bye 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 ya bye bye bim bum malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Eli anu ve'ameru Adonai himloch leolam va'ere ya bye 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 ya bye 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 bim bam ya bye 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 ya bye 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 bim bam bye 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 ya bye bim bam ya bye 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 ya bye bye bim bam ונאמר כיפת אדוני את יעקב גלומית חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We turn now to page 42 where we find a prayer called Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu asks God to watch over us while we sleep, and to protect us during all the things that might frighten us during the nighttime. And so we join together as night falls upon us, we join together at this time in singing Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomerenu l'chayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomerenu l'chayim Ushma et seitenu uvoenu l'chayim u'l'shalom me'ata v'adolam mashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomerenu l'chayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomerenu l'chayim.
The next part of our service is the Tefillah, which begins in the Siddur on page 98. Please rise if you are able for the Tefillah.
Adonai sifata tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha Adonai open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim ve'Gadei Akol V'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem L'man Shemo be'avad Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ve'ezrat Sarah.
We turn to page 103 and we read together in English. O God, as we remember all you do, we make this promise to try to be like you. We will work to raise up those who fall, heal those who are sick, free those who are in need. As your partners, we will support the poor, feed the hungry, house the homeless, befriend the lonely, and give hope to all people. We will be caring Jews. As you have helped us live better lives, we shall help others. We praise you, O God, who gives meaning to our lives. Baruch atah Adonai, Michaye Hakol. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to everything. We turn the page and we join together in a prayer about holiness. What is holiness? Rab Nachman taught that we reach out in three directions: up to God, out to other people, and into our own hearts. The secret is that all three directions are truly the same. When I reach out to another person, I find myself and God. When I find God, I find others and the true me. When I find myself, I reach God and other people. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, holy God. Please be seated. We turn now to page 115. On page 115, we find a prayer for peace. Please join with me. We pray for peace. Peace for everyone, everywhere. Peace for soldiers fighting wars. Peace for people who live where soldiers are fighting around them. Peace for parents who are worried about their children. Peace for children who are worried about their parents. Peace for people who are struggling with others. Peace for people who are struggling with themselves. We praise you, eternal God. You help us make peace, and you help us find peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, ba'shalom. We take a moment now for Tfilat Halev, for silent prayer, or the prayer of the heart. Inspirational readings for this time of silence are found on pages 116 and 117. It is my pleasure at this time to invite the members of Eitz Chaim, our junior choir, to the bima, as they are going to sing two songs that they've prepared for us this evening. So I will tell you a little bit about their first song as they are setting up and getting ready to sing. Their first song is called Miriam's Song. It is inspired by Exodus chapter 15. Well, Exodus chapter 15 is a really long song, and the long part it says that Moses led, but then at the very end it says that Miriam and the women danced, and it says that Miriam held a musical instrument, let's call it a timbrel, and that she led the women in singing and dancing. So Miriam gets credit for leading the women in the whole song, according to tradition. And not only that, she changed just one word. She made it a little bit more inclusive even. When Moses sang it, he said, Ashir al Adonai. He said, I will sing to God. But when Miriam sang it, she said, Shiru Adonai, sing with me to God. And so we are now going to hear Eitz Chaim sing Miriam's song inspired by the story from the Torah.
Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song for the one who shores and gaze across the sea, the wonder of this miracle.
That's a good verse too. Would you?
You did your other verse.
Do you want to do the first
other
one? It's up to you. You want to do the first one? Okay, good. We're going to start again. No problem. Here we go. Oh wait, Tom's giving you a big intro. Listen.
And Miriam said,
It was a beaver. You want to hold it?
yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
And Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove, which one that sang our history. With every thread and every string she crafted her delight. A woman touched with spirit, she danced for the light.
Thank you. 1, 2, ready, everybody?
And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song for the one who we exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced all night long.
Miriam stood.
When Miriam stood upon the shores and gazed across the sea, the wonder of this miracle she soon came to believe. Whoever thought the sea would part with an extra shade, as his feet on the march the promised land.
Great, let me hear you.
And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song for the one who we exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. And Miriam the prophet took her timbrel in her hand, and all the women followed her, just as she had planned. And Miriam raised her voice in song, she sang with praise and might. We just lived through a miracle, we're going to dance tonight.
1, 2, 3, go.
And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song for the one who we exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long.
Great job.
That was
Great
wonderful.
job. Right there.
That was a beautiful song, but don't go anywhere, it's Chaim, because we are expecting one more song. It is not often that you name a Jewish song after a villain against the Jewish people, but when you hear the melody and the lyrics to this song, you will understand why the composers have made a parody out of the classic Louie Louie and renamed it Pharaoh Pharaoh, because our young singers have prepared not only the lyrics, but a few hand motions to go with it. So here is Eitz Chaim singing Pharaoh Pharaoh.
Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh baby, let my people go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh baby, let my people go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Bill and Bush told me just the other day that I should go to Egypt and say, it's time to let my people be free. Listen to God if you won't listen to me. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh baby, let my people go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh baby, let my people go. Yeah, 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 yeah. And me and my people go into the Red Sea, with Pharaoh's best army coming after me. I took my staff, stuck it in the sand, and all of God's people walked on dry land. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh baby, let my people go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh baby, let my people go. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, Pharaoh's army was a coming too. So what do you think that God did do? He had me take my staff and clear my
Thank you, and Yasher Koach to the young singers of Eitz Chaim. You guys did a great job tonight, and we were able to hold on to the sweetness and the message of Passover just a few extra days thanks to your music, so Yasher Koach. We continue now with our Torah service. Our Torah service is found in Mishkan Tefillah for Youth beginning on page 121. This is our Torah. Its words are the same ones that our parents and grandparents read. In all times and all places, its words never change. May our children and grandchildren and their children and grandchildren read its words as well. In this scroll is everything that has made the Jewish people special from Mount Sinai until today. Torah teaches us love and justice, goodness and hope and freedom. Please rise as we take the Torah from the ark. Cindy, you're holding the Torah, right? You're holding the Torah, really?
Happens sometime.
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
God Almighty, Uneromima, Shemayada. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Halam, Halam, Amen.
Are you still doing Haggadah? You're lifting the Torah? Okay. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Shmini, which we find in the book of Leviticus. Shmini means eighth, because this section that we're about to read from comes from the end of a service that lasted for 8 days. So kids, if you think it's a long time to sit in the sanctuary here for an hour, imagine what it's like to be at a service for 8 days. But our ancestors had to do it only this one time because at the time they lacked a religious leadership, and this 8-day service was going to make Aaron, the brother of Moses, and his sons religious leaders that were called Kohanim. We sometimes call them priests in English. And finally, and the people had been watching all this time, and there had been animal sacrifices because that's what they did to worship God in those days. And then when the whole thing was just about ready to end, Aaron blessed the people. And it doesn't say this in the text here, but it is most likely the same blessing that Aaron gets credit for in the book of Numbers, which is the same blessing that we offer on this bima at a special occasion like a bar bat mitzvah or a birthday. And so we are going to see the first time that Aaron, the newly installed religious leader of the community, blesses the people. And it is a pretty amazing moment. By the time it's over, all the people who've seen it bow down low and they shout joyously, and it must have been a pretty incredible experience. You can follow along as I read from Parshat Shemini at Leviticus chapter 9, verse 22. You can find this section here in the sanctuary in the large blue Torah commentary books, beginning on page 800. Page 800. And if you are watching us on live stream and you have a revised Torah commentary at home and you would like to follow along in your Torah commentary, you can find the same section, Leviticus chapter 9, verse 22, on page 708. And for the honor, hang on. There it is. And for the honor of the Aliyah to the Torah, we call upon Cindy Simon. Okay, I'm ready.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher barcharanu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato.
Baruch
atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Vayisa Aharon et yadav el ha'am vayvarachem vayered me'asod hachatat ve'ha'olah ve'hashlamim vayavo Moshe ve'Aharon el ohel moed vayetzu vayvarchu et ha'am Vayerachavod Adonai el kol ha'am Vatetzei eish milifnei Adonai Vatochal al hamizbeach et ha'olah ve'et ha'chalavim Vayera kol ha'am vayironu vayipalu al peneihem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tokenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher koach. You have a seat right behind me. This time our thoughts turn to those in need of healing as we prepare to offer a Mishaberach for healing. That is found in Mishkan Tefillah for Youth on page 125. If you're watching on live stream and you're thinking of someone in need of healing, I invite you to share your loved one's name in the chat or comment section of the live stream platform. And if you're here in the sanctuary and you are thinking of someone in need of healing, I invite you to share their name out loud or in your heart at this time. As a congregation, we call to mind our members and their loved ones in need of healing. Their names will be shown on your screen. As we turn now to page 125, please join us as together we sing the Mishaberach.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikol habracha levotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue at this time with the lifting and dressing of the Torah. Cindy Simon is going to do Hagbah, the lifting of the Torah, and Rachel Eastman will do Galila, the dressing of the Torah. Please rise if you're able for Hagbah and Galila.
Vizot Torah asher samosha lifnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai yad Moshe. those that hold fast to it, all its supporters are happy.
You may be seated. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Unless you have a birthday in the month of, what is it, April. I tried to get her to come, but in which case, sorry, I got stopped mid-sentence. Unless you have a birthday in the month of April, in which case you are invited to the Bima for a birthday blessing. She's 18, you know. It's a hard age. It's a hard age for a birthday blessing on the Bima. Or if you had a birthday in March and you weren't here for your March birthday blessing. Any March people who need a do-over birthday blessing? Okay, then it's the three of you. Gather in. Well, I mean, April's a long month, and Passover only lasts for a week, so I hope that at some point you did get a normal birthday cake. Normal birthday cake? Okay.
Cupcake.
Close enough. Well, in honor of the normal birthday cake or cupcake, in honor of this new beginning, opening a new year and a new chapter in your life, I offer the wishes of your congregational family. And Cantor Tillman and I are here to offer a blessing so that this new opening, this new year, is not just the turning of a page in a calendar, but it is a year of blessing for all of you. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine down upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May God's Spirit lift you up, and may God give you shalom, the gift of peace, now and always. And let us say, Amen. And we join together now in singing first in Hebrew and then in English.
Yom
Huladet Sameach, Huladet Sameach. She placed a lollipop request. Sameach, Yom Huladet Sameach. Happy key change to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear everyone in April. And March had their chance. And Cantor, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Mazel tov, you can return to your seat. Mazel tov.
What a surprise this flavor is.
What a surprise. And it is now my pleasure to invite all of our young people, I think I'm going to move this big microphone, to invite all of our young people to the front of the Bima to get a good look at the pictures for our story. Well, this story is called Nikki and Vera, and if it looks familiar to you, it is because at the Temple Emeth Religious School we invited the author of Nikki and Vera, Peter Siss, to be our guest via Zoom 2 years ago at around this time because right after Passover, only a few days after the end of Passover, the Jewish people observe Yom HaShoah, and that is Holocaust Remembrance Day. And Nikki and Vera, I think, is a wonderful tribute to a man who very quietly but bravely saved lives during the Holocaust. And it is a wonderful story, as well as wonderfully illustrated by Peter Siss. And so So hopefully it will still be something you enjoy even 2 years later. The book is called Nicky and Vera, a quiet hero of the Holocaust and the children he rescued. Nicky was born in 1909 into a century full of promise. At Nicky's school, the students were encouraged to follow their interests, whatever they were. Nicky discovered he liked mathematics, stamp collecting, photography, and fencing. The students had all kinds of pets. Nicky raised pigeons. It didn't matter what the students were interested in, so long as they were interested in something. And there you can see a picture of Nicky's pigeon. That's the biggest picture on that page. As a young man, Nicky traveled all over Europe. He worked as a banker. He learned German and French, how to motorcycle, drive a car, and fly a plane. He was an expert fencer on an Olympic team. Nicky and his friends talked about politics. They worried about the situation in Europe. In Germany, the Nazi Party led by Adolf Hitler was building an army. In December 1938, Nicky planned to take a skiing vacation, but a friend called. "Come to Prague," he said. So I don't know if you can tell, this is a map of Europe, and the country that's highlighted is the country of Czechoslovakia, and the capital of Czechoslovakia is a city called Prague. In 1938, Vera was 10 years old. Are any of you 10 years old? Okay, so you have a sense of maybe what she was going through. She lived with her family in a small town near the big city of Prague. Vera was the queen of cats. She would adopt a stray whenever she found one. She loved to feed the horses that pulled the wagon for her parents' business. It was a happy childhood. Vera's family and their neighbors were proud citizens of the young Republic of Czechoslovakia. They were one of the few Jewish families in town. It made no difference. They were all friends. Vera helped her almost blind grandmother when she came to visit. Vera's grandmother remembered Vera's face by touching it. Sometimes when the family visited cousins in Prague, they went to synagogue. Vera's family spoke Czech, but if her parents wanted to share secrets, they spoke German to each other. Czechoslovakia was a complicated place where half the people spoke Czech and half the people spoke German. It was important, if you want to get along with everyone, that you could speak both. In October, the German army marched into the border region of Czechoslovakia called Sudetenland. People afraid of the Germans ran with everything they could take. One morning, there was a new girl in Vera's class. Vera gave her an extra pair of shoes. "I had no time to take anything," the barefoot girl said. In the family cellar and barn, there was suddenly extra food and clothing. "Just in case," said Vera's mother. When visiting Prague, Vera's mother heard about an Englishman who was helping children leave Czechoslovakia to escape the Germans. She discussed it with Vera's father, and they decided that Vera should go to England. The Englishman was Nicky. He saw that war was near and something had to be done. England would allow refugees under 17 to come if families could be found to take care of them and travel could be arranged. So there he is. He's holding his skis, but he's not on a ski trip anymore. He's helping to save Jewish children. Nicky set up an office in a hotel in Prague. He made lists of children. He took their photographs. He found train connections. Spies kept watch. You can barely see it, but can you see the spy there in the corner of the page? I don't know why spies always wear fedoras and trench coats, no matter what era we're talking about, but that is true for this spy. In January, Nicky returned to London. In the evenings after work, he placed advertisements in the newspapers to find foster families to take care of the children. He applied for visas and made travel arrangements. Sometimes he paid with his own money and made his own stamps. There wasn't much time. And there he is. He's pretending like he's a fencer right? A fencer has a goal. You have to win in your fencing match, and he wants to win by getting as many Jewish children out of Prague as he can. In March 1939, the German army invaded the rest of Czechoslovakia. Line after line of German soldiers marched through Vera's hometown. One of them came to the family house and said he would be moving in. He told them to stop speaking Czech. Vera's father refused. Vera vowed that she would never speak German. The day came for Vera to leave. She packed her clothes. Vera's father gave her a diary. He told her to write down her memories until she could return home and see them again. She said goodbye to her grandparents. She said goodbye to her cousins who were to follow her to England on a later train. 76 children got on the train. Vera tried not to cry. She and the other children did not know what lay ahead, so they told stories about the lives they left behind. And so here I love this picture because he illustrates what he imagines the train must have felt like for Vera being on the train. And here he sort of imagines the train's route going from Prague, bringing children to England. After 3 days and nights, they arrived in London. The rest of the children were picked up. Vera waited in the empty hall. Finally, her new family came. And he must have liked this picture because he also put it on the cover. Eight trains left Prague in the spring and summer of 1939. 669 children of all ages reached London safely. On September 1st, Germany attacked Poland. That day, the 9th train carrying 250 children, including Vera's cousins, was due to leave Prague, but the borders were closed, and the train never left. Nicky was out of time. He put away his records. He served in the war as an ambulance driver. He was evacuated by boat from the French city of Dunkirk as the German army advanced. Vera wrote in her diary every day. She learned a new language. What language did she have to learn? German. She already knew a little German. She said she would never speak it again. She had to learn English. She was in England now. She went to a new school and learned to eat new foods. The war was everywhere. She had no news from home. She hoped her parents were safe. When the war was over, Vera went back to her town. Her family was gone. Her father and mother had died in the Nazi camps, her cousins too. She only found the daughter of one of her old cats. She did not stay in Czechoslovakia. After 4 years, she returned to England. She got married and had a family. Nicky lived quietly. He helped open a school. He got married. He founded an old people's home. He never told anyone about the children. Do you remember how many children were on those 8 trains? It was over 600 children. More children than could fit in this sanctuary. The sanctuary holds about 350 people, and he saved double that. But he never told anybody. When Nicky was an old man, his wife found the records. One day he got a phone call. Did he want to meet some people he used to know? Nicky was the guest on a television show. He didn't know it, but the old friends he had been invited to meet were some of the children. Vera was one of them. She sat next to Nicky. When the host told her story, she stood up. Everyone stood up. 669 children would not have survived if not for Nicky, who went to Prague and saved their lives. I was not a hero, Nicky said. I did not face any danger as real heroes do. I only saw what needed to be done. And this is the true story of Nicky. His full name is Nicholas Winston, and you can go on YouTube and you can search Nicholas Winston television show, and you will see it was an actual television show, kind of like Oprah in the United States, and he was surprised that the entire studio audience was filled with people whose lives he had saved. It's a pretty amazing story. This is the story of Nicky and Vera. So thanks for listening, and you can go back to your seats as we continue our service. Okay. Our service continues now with the Aleinu, which is found in Mishkan Tefillah for Youth on page 130. Please rise if you are able for the Aleinu. We remain standing now as we turn to page 132. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. This Shabbat, we remember those for whom we're in the Shloshim, 30-day period of mourning. Maria Bejarano, mother of Maggie Wallach. Arthur Skolnick, a member of Temple Emeth. Gidon Yablanka, a member of Temple Emeth and husband of Judy Yablanka. Robert Seidenberg, brother-in-law of Marilyn Friedman. Toby Karp, cousin of Jeffrey Etzen. And George Wall, remembered by Abby Schlechtman. We remember as well those whose yard sites occurred this week. Samuel Abrams, Nanette Badian, Louis Becker, Alan S. Blank, Herbert Block, Michael Bloom, Max Braunschweiger, Morris Broida, Shmuel Burstein, Stephen J. Eisner, Paul Falick, Betty Frent, Etta Goodman, Stanley Grossman, George Hart, Abraham Haas, Samuel Hecht, Evelyn Levy-Holtz, Dick Idzenga, George Kirsch, Carolyn Litwin, Helen Morgenstein, Carl Nahm, Edith Nelson Dadolf, Ruth Neubauer, Melvin Novick, Lillian Petraka, Gladys Paul, Dorothy Persky, Lillian Patel, Clem Plager, Sylvia Plotniers Nelson, Max Pollock, Mildred Reiner, Betty Rosenberg, Harvey Schneider, Francis Schreiber, Stella Silver, Joseph Smarak, Leon Tobias, Saul Ullman, Wilford Weil, Annie Weiss, Helen Weiss, Burton Wolfberg, Meyer Wunderlich, and Murray Wunderlich. And as we prepare for Yom HaShoah this coming week, we remember the names of 6 of the 6 million who perished in the Holocaust: Lena Blank, Chaya Bloch, Esther Bloch, Emmanuel Bloch, Fela Bloch, and Avram Blumberg. We remember them all. We take them into our hearts with our own. As we turn now to page 134, we join together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'b'yizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mivorach leolam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and let us say, amen. Please be seated. It is my pleasure this time to call upon Rachel Kugelmass-Levin, a member of our Board of Trustees, to offer Shabbat greetings and announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our family Shabbat service. This Sunday, April 16th at 9:15 a.m., kids age 5 and younger and their parents, or other grown-ups, are invited to the Temple Emeth Museum for Sunday Fun Day. There are flyers in the lobby, or you can speak to me tonight if you want more information. On Tuesday, April 18th, you're invited to the annual Community Holocaust Commemoration. The event will take place at Bergenfield High School starting at 7:30 p.m. This year's guest speaker is Abe Foxman, a Holocaust survivor and former head of the Anti-Defamation League. Next Friday, April 21st, join us for Earth Day Shabbat and learn why environmental justice and conserving our Earth's resources are important for us as Reformed Jews. The Social Action Committee will present an environmental call for action by providing simple steps we can each take to conserve water, reduce water pollution, and join the Religious Action Center, RAC, Power for Purpose 2023 nationwide climate justice campaign. Next Sunday, April 23rd at 2 p.m., join us at the Social Hall when Temple member Carol Shansky and pianist Amber Liao present Voices Lost, a program of music of Dutch composers lost or suppressed in the Holocaust. Then at 3 p.m., Temple Emeth members are invited by the Religious Action Center of New Jersey to attend an afternoon of learning together about modern approaches to school integration and the current desegregation case now in the state court. The program will be at Temple B'nai Abraham in Livingston. Stop by Voti Park on Tuesday evening, April 25th, for a community-wide Yom HaAtzmaut celebration. The program begins at 6:15 p.m. in the Rhoda Center with music and stories for Yom HaZikaron. At 8 p.m., we'll move to Voti Park's new Sportsplex for an immersive audio-visual experience in celebration of Israel's 75-year history and its promising future. Our mini-university is back in session next month. Rabbi Serbiu will present Justice Brandeis and his legacy on 4 Tuesdays, May 2nd, 9th, 16th, and 23rd at 8 p.m. Louis D. Brandeis was the first Jewish justice of the Supreme Court. Temple member Michael Dillon will lend his legal expertise during the class, which will take place in person and on Zoom. Thank you to this evening's volunteers in the live stream control room. Marcia and Maura Sobel are at the controls tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And thank you, as always, to Tom Mustachio, because he is a great piano player and he makes our young singers of Eitz Chaim sound fabulous. So thank you, Tom. And we are going to conclude our service now with our Shabbat evening Kiddush. So I'd like to invite up our young people to the middle of the bima, and I'd like to invite our volunteers holding the. Isn't your dad coming too? This is a two-person job. Okay, there we go. Come on, Joe. And yes, our volunteers also, who are honorees, who are going to lead us in Kiddush. We just need a minute to get organized here. So clear a little space for our very important volunteers. Okay, Max, come first. A little bit more. Okay. Now you're set. Now you can take a piece of challah, and more importantly, the grape juice, because that's what we're going to do first. And oh yes, we need a page here, page 6, I think. Yes, the English part is right there.
You're not the first one.
Here.
Don't worry.
All right, so the English is here, but there's 2 steps that are left. First is I have to get the Kiddush cup. And finally I have to say, please rise if you are able for the Kiddush. All right, nice and loud, right there.
Okay.
Wait, I didn't introduce you. Sorry, the honorees for Kiddush are Marilyn Ibis Racinos.
Like wine, Shabbat is sweet. We lift this cup to celebrate the love of family and the joy of living. We sing the Kiddush and taste the wine to remind us that Shabbat is a day of sweetness and love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'avav v'ratzon hidchilanu zikaron lem'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'tanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uv'ratzon hinchalatanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
And we don't leave. And we join together in the Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
We've reached the conclusion of our service. If you've been watching us on live stream, it is your last chance to post in the chat or comment section of the live stream platform. And if you're here in the sanctuary, we turn to one another and we conclude our service by saying Shabbat Shalom. Kids, wave to camera 2. Wave to camera 2. There you go.
Shabbat Shalom.